So this just may be my favorite motorhome of the year that I've seen this far. And not because it has some extravagant features, right? Or it's over the top, but just because it is simple, it's affordable, and I love the design. They just made good design element choices. Like in the bedroom, you have twin beds that easily convert into a king. For the bathroom, it's a big open space. You have easy access to the wardrobe. And then up front here, again, look how open this space is. Even up here in the cab at 6 foot tall, I can stand up completely. And this isn't the first time that Thor has done something like this, but essentially what they've done is they have taken what's traditionally a Class C chassis in the Ford E-Series and turned it into a Class A. And by doing so, it makes it a lot more affordable and just gives you a ton more space. Great seating, as these seats both swivel around as well, and there is a spot for a table up front. We'll get up to the cabin a little bit, but I just kind of want to take you through the main living area first. As you can see, there is a slide right here as well, which helps open this space up a lot. During travel mode, of course, this is in. You have great seating right behind the driver's seat, right where you want it, so everyone is going to be kind of involved in the travel and the conversation. If you want a table, you have another table choice here. Again, as I mentioned, there is one in between the driver and passenger seats, so you can use that, but you get this one too, so plenty of options to be able to sit. Cup holders on both sides, wireless chargers on both sides, and plus they have little USB A and C ports built into the center, so you have great options for charging even while you're on the road, because that'll be 12 volt. You also see up top, I have a couple lights here, plus additional storage, nice big window behind me. Then across the way, you start to get into, of course, your TV for entertainment, because, you know, if you're sitting on the couch, you might want to watch TV, and that's a great spot for it. It's not taking up any additional storage here. And yeah, okay, maybe you could get something small there, but I think that's just a good placement for it. Main control panel, by the way, is going to be BM Pro, and that will be located right over to the side. So with this, you have some mechanical buttons here for the lights as well as the slide, but then you also have the touchscreen portion there as well. You also see the overhead storage as well as the, not necessarily a hood, but just something to, you know, kind of collect grease. It's cooking bacon or something, right? Oh, it's not on the bottom of your cabinets, makes it easy to clean. Light switches there. Another big window. So again, you have a lot of light coming into this space, making it feel even bigger, especially with the vent fan right up top there. Just really helps open all this space up. Then the kitchen itself is going to be a thermoformed countertop. Now, at first glance, you don't have a ton of prep space, but they did a couple things to help aid in that. One of them is, even though you have a round bowl sink, which admittedly isn't necessarily my favorite, just because, you know, most pans and pots have handles on them, which makes it a little bit tough to fit in there. The nice thing about these things is they are nice and deep. It's also going to be an actual stainless steel, which I like. And you have the the sink top cover here. So you can use this as prep space if need be. Also, same thing with the cooktop, right? We have a 2-burner cooktop over here to the side. And then this also has the glass cover. So again, you can use that for prep space if you need to. You have a power tower. So if you need to plug anything in, whether that is a, you know, toaster or whatever else you need, you have the space for it. And right over here, take a look at this. You have the additional countertop extension. So again, great additional prep options here, despite being a smaller kitchen. You also see you have another outlet here, so you do have a couple different options. Your battery disconnect will be located right down below, as will one of my favorite things when manufacturers do this, a space for a trash can. Now, I know it's not a huge trash can, but you are kind of contending with some plumbing here. So, you know, I'm sure that's why it's the size it is. But again, the fact that there is something is definitely better than having nothing. You also have 3 full extension drawers here. And again, even though they're not the biggest drawers, they will suffice for essentially everything you're going to need. And as you can see, those are slow close. As for your big storage in the kitchen, that's going to be right down underneath the convection microwave oven. Rounding out our kitchen is going to be right over here, and that is the 12-volt fridge freezer combo. Now, this one does have auto gen start. So in the event that your battery starts running low, because this is 12 volt, your generator can automatically kick on, fill the battery back up, and you'll be good to go. A little bit further in, we get into the wardrobe. There is a mirror on here. You will also see there's going to be some good storage space. So you have a spot for the table that goes up front, as well as all 3 pedestal legs for both this table, as well as the one behind that sleeper sofa. And then we'll also have a hanging rod here, so you can put clothes in there. Plus, you have a couple of drawers right down below, access panel, and then you can see the fuse panel right next to that. Now, I talked earlier in the beginning of this video, though, about the bathroom setup and how it's kind of unique. And yes, while it is a little tight through here, right? You kind of have to walk sideways to get through a lot of this. The reason for it is the way they set up the bathroom, and I kind of like what they've done. So if you just need to use the bathroom, need some privacy, you can have it just like it is. But if you want a little bit more space, maybe say when you get out of the shower to get dressed, well, check this out. All right, and here we are. So right down here is going to be our porcelain foot flush lever toilet. And again, when this door is closed, I have plenty of space in here to do all my business. Toilet paper right over to the side. You have the neo-angle shower, which as a 6-foot person, I can stand up in here without any issues, especially with the skylight there. A couple of shelves in the shower too. Then I have a sink right over here to the side. So everything is going to be nice and contained in this bathroom. But again, if I want to be able to step out and have space to change, I can, because now that both doors are open, I have easy access to the wardrobe. And then you get into one of my favorite areas in the entire RV, and that is the bedroom. So as you can see, you have twin beds here. I kind of like what they've done. They kind of give you like an armrest, and it's hard on top. So if you want to set items here, you can do that without any worry of them falling. You also have some cup holders for additional beverages. And it just creates a really nice space to be able to sit and watch the TV that's mounted here on the wall. You also, again, have plenty of windows here to let in a lot of natural light storage all around the top, which, again, outside of the wardrobe gives you additional space for clothes. And under one side, you have some additional storage bins. And again, to make this into a bed, it's super simple. You simply take this, you flip it over, because as I mentioned, this bottom part is hard, and it will fill in that gap right there to create the bed. Lastly, if you want a little bit of privacy, there is a privacy curtain, so you can close that off at night. All right, let's talk about the cockpit. So as I mentioned, this is built on a Ford E-Series chassis. As for right here in the center, it does have a, I believe it's 7-inch touchscreen display there. But again, it is all touchscreen, so it's nice and easy. It's also Android Auto as well as Apple CarPlay capable and Sirius XM ready. So you kind of get to pick your poison there, so to speak. Underneath is going to be your head unit, so you again have manual controls as well. So if you want to be able to control volume here, or again, I can go home here rather than use the touchscreen. You have a few different options. You also see the fact that you have a few controls underneath. One of them is going to be for the night shades. So you have the privacy. It is going to be motorized. For the side windows, you have the curtains. That way you can close everything off super quickly and easily. And I like this setup a lot better than what you normally get in like a Class C, for example, where you just have a like Velcro on curtain. I think this is just an overall better setup. You also see you have your gen start here. So again, if you want a physical rocker switch rather than starting it from the control panel, you have a couple different options, cab lights, plugins here, as well as all of your temperature controls. Now you have, of course, your vents right here so that, you can stay warm yourself. You will also see kind of up in the cab there, or in the front by the windshield, you have 4 heat ducts right up there to help make sure that your windshield stays nice and thawed. It does a great job pushing all that hot air onto the windshield itself. Speaking of heat, you also have heated side mirrors on this one. The control for that will be right down here. Those, of course, are going to be powered. You have that control there as well. Cup holders on both sides. You also have a little storage tray area over to this side. So if you need a spot for like your wallet or something, you can set it there. Something else I really like is just kind of how shallow the doghouse is right here. Right, most of the time on a Class A, it comes way back and it's kind of in the way. But this one is nice and small, being on that E-Series chassis, and the fact that it's going to be a plastic shroud rather than the carpeted one means that it's going to be nice and easy to clean, unlike what we've seen in motorhomes of old. You'll also notice over to the side there is a workstation. So if the passenger wants to work, it's nice and easy. This just flips right out. Of course, you want to turn the seat back facing the front, but you can see right here, this would normally flip out and you have that workstation. Nice and simple to use. Some speakers up here as well. And as I mentioned earlier, one of my favorite parts about this is I can stand up in here at 6 foot tall and don't have to worry about hitting my head. That's just something you don't normally find in a Class C. All right, let's take a look at the outside of the 2025 Freedom Traveler A24. As mentioned, we were inside. This one is built on the Ford E-Series chassis with a 6-speed torque shift transmission. You'll of course see the nice big one-piece glass right there on the front that is so indicative of a Class A motorhome. Now, over on this side are going to be the heated mirrors we mentioned while inside. You will also notice, though, there are side view cameras built into those mirrors, So that way, when you put on your turn signal, it gives you that added visibility. Great peace of mind, especially if you're someone who's just getting into a motorhome. That's something you will certainly appreciate, as well as having nice big windows right here on the side. That way, again, just giving you a little bit of extra visibility there. And of course, making things nice and bright internally. As we take a look at the storage here, we'll see several storage compartments all the way around. The thing I really like about this, though, is the fact they are rotocast with drains. They're also going to be lit, so great for a couple reasons. Of course, the light is super obvious, but the rotocast and drain I really like, because if you have something that's going to be dirty, right? Like when we go camping, sometimes it's not going to always be on a concrete pad. It might be a bunch of dirt. It might rain out. You're putting stuff away and it's dirty in there. That rotocast is super simple and easy to clean out. You can just take a hose, wash everything out, and then it goes right out of that drain. Love, love, love that, rather than having the steel ones where then you have rust and water pooling, a bunch of other issues. Big fan of what they've done. Main entry door right here, they did put a window in it, which I enjoy, again, helping not only let in some of that natural light, but if someone comes and knocks on your door, it also lets you see who's there. And you have frameless windows all the way throughout. So I like frameless windows both from an aesthetic standpoint, because I think they look a lot nicer, as well as the fact the way they open, they tilt open. So if it's raining outside, as long as it's not like a sideways rain, you can have those open and still get some airflow. They're going to be tinted as well, so you get that privacy during the day. And of course, you have the shades for privacy at night. Right up top is a Girard power awning. Really like this awning. You can see that it's going to be horizontal instead of vertical. They call it an armless awning, but it's not true because it still has arms. Again, it's just going to come out rather than, have to worry about them having at your campsite. But that's the big advantage, right? It's not going to impede your campsite. You're not going to walk by and hit your head on it, which I've seen people do. Not going to be an issue here. Of course, you have an LED light up there as well. Outside outlet, so if you need to plug anything in, you have easy access to do so. Another good size storage compartment right down here. Kind of same story there with the rotocast. You have a propane quick connect. Love this. You can bring your favorite Blackstone or Coleman grill, plug it in nice and easy. Tankless water heater on this one too. This is something we're starting to see a lot in the industry, and I'm here for it, right? Essentially, you get near limitless hot water, as long as you're not camping in the middle of winter and trying to pull super cold groundwater. This is going to be an excellent solution. You can, like I said, take a hot shower for as long as you want. Your fresh tank fill will be located right there. Outside shower will be located right back here. And then the big storage compartment on this one is going to be right here in the back. You do have 3 different access points to that. You can see one on each side as well as one in the back. You also have an electrical outlet in there, which is really cool. I like that because I like to bring tools with me, as any RVer should. And so if you need a place to charge like your portable drill, right, you can plug it in, charge your battery right there. I think that's, again, just a really great feature to have outside the coach. The ladder does come standard on here, so you can climb up onto the fully walkable roof, 250-pound weight capacity there. You do have a one-piece roof membrane. You will see kind of across the back. You kind of have like a TPO cover right there. Just adds for aesthetics, as well as helping to cover the seam in the back. You can also see the backup camera located right up top to give you that added visibility here in the back. This one does come with a bumper underneath. You will see this one has a hitch that is rated for 7,000 pounds, and right next to that is going to be your 7-way. So if you need to, pull a car behind here, which a lot of people opt to do, you certainly can. It gives you a lot more options with that 8,000-pound hitch. Of course, if you want to pull another trailer or something behind it, you can do that too. Same access, same storage compartment, different access right there. Right down underneath is a 4,000-watt generator. As I talked about when we were inside, this one does have auto gen start. So you can set that for a number of different things, whether that is voltage, whether that is time. So, you can have it turn off when it's quiet time, have it kick back on in the morning, all sorts of options with that, but that is a great thing to have. Of course, our fuel fill, black tank flush going to be here, 30-amp connection on this one, cable inlet. You have another outside shower over on this side, as well as your city water inlet. Down underneath, you have access to tanks, as well as some of your water hookups are going to be down there. You also have additional access to your slide control, right? In the rare event the slide fails, you do have a way to manually override that. Speaking of the slide, one thing I do want to point out is going to be right up top, and that's the fact that this one does have a slide topper on there. That's going to be a huge feature. The main reason being is that, any pine cones or anything that fall from trees are going to just hit that topper. So that way when you bring your slide in, they're all going to fall off. rather than just sitting on top of that slide. Then you bring it in, and those pine cones and sticks and everything else are jamming up your seals and possibly damaging them, which is not something you want to have happen. Folks, this A24 is great, right? Like I said, probably one of my favorite new Class A's and motorhomes this year because just the good design of it, as well as great affordability. Now, if you're wondering, I know you're wondering, Ian, what is the price? I get it. Here's all you have to do. In the description of this video, there will be a link. Click that link, and it will show you nearest availability as well as price for this unit. Thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see ya.